something in a manner something like this, putting in cartridge filter systems on their drinking fountains for lead removal. Whole school systems are doing that. Either that or they're ripping the water fountains out of the hallways and saying, we don't want the liability, so we're just going to pull that out altogether. Okay? So school systems, hospitals, clinics, making sure that, that those products are meeting those standards. Homeowners are kind of, it's up to us in order to say, to go out and promote the products, and if it's important, to be upfront and say, yes, we have products that meet these NSF standards. Well, thank you. What cartridge is this?
Flow Plus.
Flow Plus. Benefits. Still the same amount of carbon filtration. So I get all the taste and odor removal at the same levels because it's pulverized carbon. Higher flow and a very, very fine filter level, half micron. I can put it into a system and get cyst removal certification for that. This filter becomes a terrific filter for things like people who are drawing water from surface waters, like lakes, lake homes, cottages, things like that. Because those typically are places where they're getting the water from a surface supply that's got those contaminants in it. So this has been a very popular filter for places like that. And why is it popular also? In comparison to putting in something like this on the side of the house for something that I might be using months out of the year. Now I can address an issue like high levels of filtration, high quality water, and I can put in a cartridge filter versus putting in a whole operating system like this. I can also put in a size. I can order a size of Flow Plus that will supply water for the whole home. What was the flow rate that I quoted for that 20-inch big blue Flow Plus?
Was it 25 gallons per?
25 gallons per minute. 25 gallons per minute. Well, I can put one of those on the side of the house and have plenty of flow and get really, really high quality water for the whole home. Chlorine removal, cyst removal, all of that. Since the downturn, right, 2007, 2008, single family home starts have never reached back up to that level that they were before that. And obviously before that it was a bunch of speculation. It was people just driving up homes just because they thought, well, we'll be able to sell it. Banks are giving money away like crazy, so people will buy these homes. Single family home starts haven't gotten back up to that level that they were before that. But what has been at record levels for the last 3 to 5 years has been multi-family homes. So condos, apartments, all of these places where you're seeing, they just threw something up near the manufacturing plant, the corners of Brookfield, and it's all a walking plaza with shopping with a whole bunch of condos on top. So it's like a prefab community, and it was all multi-family homes. Well, if I'm throwing condos up on top of buildings, I don't have a lot of room to put valve on tank stuff as far as my filter systems. Cartridge filtration becomes a really, really nice whole home kind of application for places where you don't need a lot of space and you can still supply water for the entire space. And it's cost effective as an install. $2,500 to install, $700–800 to install. All right. Questions?
Flow rate through Big Blue, 20-inch Big Blue housing, no filter.
With no filter? Depends on the inlet outlet connection size.
1 inch.
Now, are you talking peak flow rate or are you talking continuous flow rate?
Peak.
I don't know the answer to that exactly.
I take it's going to be more than 25 gallon.
Well,
if you're saying that you can put a 20
okay.
inch.
I'm not saying that you're going to want to jam 25 gallons per minute to that cartridge.
Well, right.
What I'm saying is that it has the capability in comparison to max flow rates with a carbon block, with an extruded carbon block. It has a lot better flow characteristics, so you're going to get a lot less pressure drop. To Jay's point, and it's more in the commercial valve class. So if I have a well, you guys handle pipe, right? PVC pipe, copper pipe. I can put in 100 feet of 1-inch copper and put a pump on the end and run the pump head pressure all the way up. And as I go up through the pressure range, I can increase the flow coming out of the end of that 100 feet of pipe. And at 25, at a 1-inch piece of pipe, I could probably throw 60, 70, 80 gallons per minute out of that pipe once I get up to about 100 psi head pressure. Is that fair to say? I mean, that water is going to be shooting across the complex here, but I can really flow a lot of water through it. Here's the thing: the end of that pipe is going to be all over the place, because as I'm running water through that pipe, it's going to be creating cavitation and vibration and a lot of turbulence in the pipe. So I wouldn't want to run, because at 25 gallons per minute through a 1-inch pipe, I'm still going to be creating vibration and all of those things. So keep in mind, just because I'm capable of flowing 25 gallons per minute through that cartridge, doesn't mean that the whole system is something I would want to break. So we've talked about filters. We talked about sediment filtration, particulate filtration, taking things out of the water. Where does particulate contamination most often occur?
Surface water.
Surface water. And we talked about chemical filtration. So we talked about actually taking things out of the water that are part of the water. TDS stands for what?
Totally dissolved solids.
Excellent, that's perfect. Okay. Total dissolved solids. What does ppm stand for?
Parts per million.
Parts per million. Your game.
Eric's kicking it.
ppm. So if I'm looking at specifications, or if I'm looking at a water report, a water test from the municipality, and it says ppm on it, what is okay, that is a measurement of parts, but it's a ratio. There's also a measurement of like weight over volume. Weight over volume, right? You want a certain, how much of this is in this volume of water. ppm is equivalent to what metric equivalent? Sorry, that was redundant. Come back, I can do better than that. ppm is equal to what? Here's the metric system. Whoever thought of the metric system, they were sharp. They were on their game. They had it together. I didn't say I wanted to use it. I didn't say I wanted to use it, JP. I just said it was pretty cool. All right? So, a liter of water. Everybody understands how much a liter is. That's probably, what, a half liter? A liter of water. Everybody understand kind of how big a liter is. A liter of fresh water weighs weighs 1,000,000 milligrams. Weighs 1,000,000 milligrams. That's 1,000 grams. The metric system. Right? It's all in tens.
So are you asking?
It's all in tens. It's amazing. So there's a liter of water, and it weighs about 1,000,000 milligrams. Okay? So there's 1,000,000 parts there. There's 1,000,000 parts. If I broke that water up into 1,000,000 parts, each one of those parts would weigh what? 1 milligram. So parts per million is also expressed in milligrams per liter. So when you see it on a water test, because you're going to see those, you're going to see reports from Arlington, Plano, Burleson, whatever. You're going to see water reports, and they're going to have the measurements of contaminants, and a lot of that stuff's going to be in milligrams per liter, okay? That's what that means. That's what the equivalent is. So if you broke that liter up into 1,000,000 parts, how much of those 1,000,000 parts is calcium or magnesium or sulfates or nitrates or uranium?